In the medical office, the medical assistant usually prepares insurance claims using a computer billing program. The medical assistant must know what information should be included so that each claim form can be reviewed before printing, or claim information can be reviewed before submitting the claim electronically. This procedure demonstrates how to complete a CMS 1500 insurance claim form. Assemble information needed to prepare an insurance claim, including a claim form, information about the patient account or ledger, and a copy of the patient's insurance card or insurance information. Enter or review information as required on the CMS 1500 form. If paper claims will be submitted to be scanned by optical character recognition, use only capital letters and do not use commas, dollar signs, or other punctuation. Most insurance companies use optical scanning to digitize information on paper claims, and the equipment works best following the guidelines outlined above. In the Carrier section, enter or validate the name and address of the insurance company to whom the claim will be sent using the following format. In line 1, enter the name of the carrier. In line 2, enter the first line of the address. In line 3, enter the second line of the address, if necessary. In line 4, enter the city, followed by a space, then the two-letter state code, followed by a space, then the zip code. Complete or review the patient and insured information. In box 1, the type of insurance is indicated with an X. Only one box can be marked. Insurance obtained through employment is a group health plan. In box 1A, enter the ID number of the individual who is insured as shown on the insurance card. In box 2, enter the patient's last name, first name, and middle initial, separated by spaces. In box 3, enter the patient's date of birth in the format month, day, year. Mark the patient's sex, male or female, with an X. In box 4, separated by spaces, enter the name of the insured using the format last name, first name, middle initial. If the patient and the insured are the same, this box does not have to be completed. In box 5, enter the patient's mailing address beginning with a street. Use the two-letter state code. Do not use commas, periods, or other punctuation in the address with the exception of the hyphen in a 9-digit zip code. Do not use a hyphen or space as a separator in the telephone number. Complete this box if box 4 is completed. In box 6, mark an X in the box that defines the patient's relationship to the insured. The choice includes self, spouse, or other. In box 7, enter the insured's mailing address beginning with a street. Use the two-letter state code. Do not use commas, periods, or other punctuation in the address with the exception of the hyphen in a 9-digit zip code. Do not use a hyphen or space as a separator in the telephone number. Complete this box if box 4 is completed. In box 8, mark the box that best describes the patient's marital status and employment status. If the patient has insurance through the employer, assume that he or she is employed. If the patient is a college student who is at least 18 years old, it is important to determine if he or she is a full-time student. The choices include single, married, other, employed, full-time student, part-time student. If there is a secondary insurance, enter the insured's name in box 9 using the format described. In boxes 9A through 9D, enter the subscriber's policy or group number, date of birth, sex, employer, and insurance plan name. In boxes 10A through 10C, mark information related to the cause of the patient's condition. The boxes are checked yes or no to answer the questions. If the patient's condition is caused by an automobile accident, the state where the accident occurred is identified using the correct two-letter code. In box 11, enter the group number of the insured individual. If the insured is not the patient, enter the insured's birth date in box 11A. The employer name and insurance plan name may be entered in boxes 11B and 11C, but they are not required. Complete Box 11D by placing an X in the correct box to indicate if there is another insurance plan. If Yes is selected, Box 9A through 9D must be completed. If the office has on file the patient's signature on a similar permission form, the initials SOF or the word Signature on File are placed in Box 12. Otherwise, the patient must sign and date the form. If the office has on file the insured's signature on a similar permission form, the initials SOF or the words Signature on File are placed in Box 13. Otherwise, the insured must sign and date the form. Complete the physician or supplier information using information from the patient charge slip. If incomplete or incorrect information about primary or secondary insurance plans is given, the claim will be denied. Boxes 14 through 16 are not usually required for Medicare, Medicaid, TRICARE, CHAMPVA, and most private insurance. If they must be filled in, the dates are obtained from the patient's medical record and/or the physician. In Box 17, enter the name of the physician who referred the patient. In Box 17A, enter the non-NPI number of the referring physician. The qualifier is entered from Table 46.3 in the first section to identify the type of number. For Medicare and Medicaid, the NPI number must be used after May 23, 2008. In Box 17B, if the physician has an NPI number, the 10-digit number is entered in this box instead of 17A. In Box 18, if the patient's claim is for a hospitalization, either a visit or surgery performed when the patient was hospitalized, enter the dates of hospitalization. Otherwise, the box is left blank. Box 19 is left blank unless instructed by a specific insurance carrier to use this box for information specific to that carrier. In Box 20, No is checked unless billing Medicare for purchased outside lab charges. When Yes is checked, enter the amount of the charges entered. Yes is only checked if the lab charges are not itemized on one of the lines in Box 24. In Box 21, enter the ICD-9 CM codes for up to 4 diagnoses. Use the most specific code possible. Leave a space for the period on the form. Box 22 is left blank unless the claim is a Medicaid resubmission when the code and original reference number are entered. Box 23 is left blank unless a referral, pre-authorization, or pre-certification number was assigned by the insurance company. In Box 24A, enter the date service began under the From section in the format month, day, year in the unshaded area. If the service occurred on one day only, the To section is left blank. Otherwise, the date service ended. In Box 24B, enter the code for the place of service. Box 24C is usually left blank. For some carriers, a Y is placed in this box if the service is an emergency service. In Box 24D, enter the CPT or HCPCS code and modifiers, if any, in the unshaded area. In Box 24E, enter the numbers from 1 to 4 that point to ICD-9 CM codes in Box 21 that justify the procedure. Only one digit can be used in this box for Medicare claims. In Box 24F, enter the charges in the unshaded area, leaving 2 spaces between the number of dollars and the number of cents instead of using a decimal point. If charging for more than one of the same procedure, for example, visits to a hospitalized patient on 3 consecutive days, the number of units of the procedure charged in the unshaded area of Box 24G. Otherwise, enter the number 1. Box 24H is left blank unless the patient is enrolled in the Medicaid program for early, periodic screening, diagnosis, and service, EPSDT. Use the shaded area of Box 24I to enter the qualifier for a provider ID number other than the NPI number. Enter the ID number of the provider of the service in Box 24J. If the 10-digit NPI number is used, it is entered in the unshaded area. If another ID number is used, it is entered in the shaded area. Enter the tax identification number in box 25. If the Social Security number of an individual physician is used, box SSN is checked. If the employer identification number of a group practice is used, box EIN is checked. In box 26, enter the patient account number. The box is left blank if there is no patient account number. Hyphens should not be used in this box. Enter an X in the correct section of box 27. If the physician accepts assignment of benefits, an X is placed in the Yes box. If assignment of benefits is not accepted, an X is placed in the No box. In box 28, enter the total charges with 2 spaces between the number of dollars and the number of cents. In box 29, enter the amount paid toward the covered charges, including any copayment. If the amount is 0, the box is left blank. In box 30, enter the balance due with a space between the number of dollars and the number of cents. Enter SOF, signature on file, or the physician's legal signature, including credentials, and the date in box 31. Box 32 is only completed if services were provided at a different location than the billing address. In box 33, enter the name, address, and telephone number of the physician group or supplier of services without punctuation. The telephone number is entered to the right of the title of the field without a hyphen. A hyphen is used in a 9-digit zip code after the 5th digit. Enter the 10-digit NPI number of the service facility location in box 33A. Use box 33B if another ID number for the service facility location is used.